If you make it, you're in a position to win. Gonna go for two here.
He's going for two.
If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Caught him! One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here.
Caught him! One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Go for two here. Go for two here.
Caught him! One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Okay, and we are live, and it's episode 49. As you can see,
Gonna go for two
very
here.
special
Go for
guest
two.
over
If you
here,
don't make this,
Lane
you lose.
McGregor.
If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Caught him!
But before
One-handed
that, we
catch
want to
as he
thank
goes
our
up and gets
sponsors
it.
at Coolbet, because without them, we would
Go
be
for two here. Go for two here.
Caught him! One-handed catch as he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Go for two here. Go for two here.
Caught him! As he goes up and gets it.
Go for two here. Go for two here. If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Oh, cool. We got
Yeah. So we had Aiden on months ago. This guy
Gonna
like
go for
started
two
this
here.
thing, I don't know
He's going
what
for two.
happened.
If you don't make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win.
Caught him!
All from different
One-handed catch
universities.
as he
And I was
goes
like,
up and gets it.
I was sponsored a show called Goin for two.
Go for two here. Go for two here.
Caught him!
I did what I wanted to make no
As
sense
he
to
goes
me.
up and gets it.
And I was like, all right, well,
Go for two here. Go for two
I
here.
reached out to my already video.
If you make this, you lose. If you make it, you're in a position to win. Go for two here. Go for two here.
Caught him!
You ghosted me like I was on you, bro.
Oh, wait, hold on.
If you don't make this, you lose.
Back in the
If you make it,
back in the
you're
fall.
in a
But
position to
I
win.
wasn't a person here now. Not what I usually do. And then I saw that picture of it. It must be like at a punching school, and I was like, "This guy's got the sickest mullet I've ever seen." And you wore it so proud. And I commented on it, and then you replied back, and then like it was just one of those things back and forth every now and again, and now we're here. But yeah, I didn't realize that our show we could only have following up punchers, but I'm all about it.
Absolutely. So, walk us through your football journey a little bit. I mean, obviously, you're at Jackson State now, but like, what brought you there?
It's a pretty long story and it's pretty exciting. It's not the normal like specialist story you'd hear. So in 7th and 8th grade to play receiver, I was like one of the top receivers. I was short, I was fast. I was the best receiver 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade. I was like
What state?
I got
What
moved
state
down
is
to-
this? What state are you from?
Mississippi actually.
Mississippi. All right, that's
Yes,
where
sir.
that beautiful accent's from, huh? All right.
You got a little country to it, back in the Yeah. We chase snakes around here. We catch them for fun,
Yeah. so
It's just
So
a
you-
Friday night.
damn.
We bow fish. We do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and they're doing this all in a dry county, so I don't know how you're pulling that off. But you were in school, you're a receiver, you're one of the top
Yeah.
receivers.
Yeah, I played receiver all through high school. Tore my ACL my 12th grade year. I was like, gotta
Okay.
go for college. I gotta have something to pay for college some way. So I was like, okay, gotta teach myself how to kick, taught
Yeah.
myself how to punt. But then I was like, I went to ICC, Itawamba Community College. It's in Fulton, Mississippi. Played receiver there for like a year. The coach was like, you're not fast enough. You're not big enough. You just don't fit the size to play college receiver. I don't think you can play college. I was like, okay, I got to go somewhere else where I'm like appreciated. So then that's when I started my punting journey at Mississippi Delta down in Moorhead, Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
And then started punted 2 years there and then transferred to Jackson State. And then that's how I got to Jackson State. But my snapper actually got an offer from Jackson State. And I was like, I'm only as good as a long snapper. So I'm not going to go to school with like some sorry snapper or something. And I've been with this snapper for 2 years. So I was like, okay, I know he's good.
Yeah.
So then that's why I went to Jackson State.
Yo, and he calls himself the deep snapper, not the long snapper. He's the deep snapper.
The deep snapper.
Oh, I love that. Because he actually he jumped on one of our Instagram pages today, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he had to ask me. He was like, "What's this about?" And I was like, "It's a Going for Two podcast. I mean, you should join it." And he was like, "You're going live with him now?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Yo, if he plays his
Appreciate that.
cards right, maybe he'll get an invite one day too. But right now, we're solely on punters right now, so the deep snappers are gonna have to wait.
Yeah, he has a mullet, but it's nowhere near as good as mine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody's bullet is as good as yours right now.
Well,
Bro,
what I was thinking is like, how would anybody tell you couldn't play receiver with that kind of a flow coming out of the back of a helmet?
Right. Well, actually, I just got this like November of last year. But
So
I had
you
like
should-
you
so
know
it's
the
your own
JV
fault.
haircut. The
Yeah,
flippy JV.
You couldn't play receiver because you didn't get the haircut fast enough.
That's all it was. I mean, this
Yeah.
has like 10 points on my attributes to speed.
Yo, 100%. Because if you try and move one way and your hair goes this way, if the guy is looking at your head, he's gonna get really stressed out, and you're gonna get right by him.
Right now, I had some lines to make me faster too, but you know,
Yeah.
got
Well,
chopped
you had
up.
the
in
steps
there.
in it.
Aerodynamic, yeah.
Yeah.
So you transition from a wide receiver to a kicker. Now, I never put a whole lot of time in to try and kick a football, but anytime that I did kick it, and any of my friends that I've seen kick a football, they're not spirals. Right, and you just come off of an ACL injury as well.
Mhm.
So, like, when you say taught yourself, did you actually teach yourself? Are you going to camps to figure this stuff out, or how did that come about?
So, like, when I say teach myself, like, I remember the first day back into football that I got cleared from my ACL injury. I was like, I'm not cutting my left leg as hard as I wanted to or as well as I wanted to. Like, I'm not running as fast. So I was like, I got to find something else if I want to really play this game. So I thought about it, and I was like, okay, got to really focus on something. And kicking, I could always kick, but I just never, like, really trained because I was a better receiver in my mind. So I actually, like, trained myself. I didn't go to my first camp, like, teaching camp until my second year at JUCO. So, like, everything before that, I taught myself. Watched videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this was a big deal as it was, but, like, I videoed myself every day. And I didn't learn that was a big deal until I went to that training. So I had, like, a head start,
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
And you were around the Mississippi JUCO circuit. And
Mhm.
most people in Canada probably wouldn't know what that is, but we all watch Last Chance U, so we know
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what that is.
Okay, look. You know, East Mississippi, right? The school that the Last Chance U was about. The first year that they got in that fight, that's the school I went to. The school that they fought.
Oh, yeah?
wow.
Were you there at the time?
No, I wasn't there at the time, but my
Oh.
kicking coach was there. I
Okay.
had got there the year after.
Okay. In other words, somebody would be messed up. You would have threw some hands at somebody.
Yeah.
or kicked them. I mean, with a power leg
Yes.
like that.
Bro, I don't know. If I was in a fight, I'd probably kick somebody just because that's my strength.
Yeah. Well,
I want
hey.
to go through and then you see these
So-
athletes take their helmet off in a fight. I'm like, why are you gonna take your helmet off? That's to protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone wants to take their helmet off, and they're gonna get some sweet chin music from Lane.
Yeah.
Heartbreak kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
So how did you land on punter? You said you want to make a transition. You want to stay in the game, right?
Mhm.
Kicker, you be a place kicker as an opportunity as well. So how did you decide punter is where I'm going to be? That's what I'm going to do well at.
So I was like, so I was a second string punter like during high school, and actually we rugby kicked a lot, like where you roll out and kick,
Yep.
and then just move
Yeah.
downfield. So I was like, I got a strong enough leg to do this. Then why don't I just normally like traditionally punt? And I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I just started kicking every day, and then it just went from there.
I
fell
will
in
let you
love with
know
it,
the
actually,
rugby
like-
style cunt is really popular in Canada. So if you need a gig, come on up.
There you go.
Most definitely. But I tried to kick like place kick or whatever. It's not for me, man.
No.
I
No,
can't
not
get the
for
ball off the ground. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
really?
okay.
That's interesting. Well, you know what? At the same time, too, there's lots of stress coming up at place kicker, man. And stress make you lose your hair. So maybe the punter is a better option for you, right?
Yeah, you normally see punters with more hair than you do kickers.
That's right.
Feel you on that.
That's right.
You know, you got.
All right. I have a question. Like, some people are gonna think this is controversial, but we already talked to you before we came on here, so we know you don't care. So, you are attending an historically black college, which
Mhm.
that's awesome. But what made you comfortable? You know, like what made you decide to go to that college? I mean, was it even something that entered your mind? Because we don't have like any of that kind of stuff. In
Yeah,
Canada,
okay,
right?
I understand. So I grew up like in government housing, like projects you would see, like, so I had friends of like other different races, and I knew like just because he's that color doesn't mean that I'm gonna look at him any different. Like he's
Right.
still my brother. Like my best friends are like black, Mexican, and all that. And so like I went to Mississippi Delta, which is like I guess you would say a HBCU JUCO, and I had this
Okay.
teacher, Miss Graham. She had taught me like she's a history teacher, so like different history, I guess, that's not taught in like preferred white institutions are taught different or not different, but like more in depth of certain situations. And I was like, I like the way this teacher teaches, and I have nothing like no idea. I was never taught of the history behind their race and like how they came up and how everything happened. So I was like, okay, I really like this, and I think I should give Jackson State or HBCU a shot. And I fell in love with like just the way that it was taught. And when I got to Jackson State, I was like, this is like amazing, just because they go more in depth. They just don't teach one certain thing about the situation. Like it's both sides of everything, and it really just it opens my mind up more, if you know what I mean. Like I just
Yeah.
not like
Mhm.
certain on one thing. Like I see the perspective of two different things on one situation, and it really helps me, especially down in the South. Like I guess you could say I get along with everybody, but I just know like this person's family's been through that. This person's family been through that. So I mean, it all worked out, and I really enjoy being at a HBCU and learning everything and however the culture is different in different ways.
Yeah, man, like, and that's really cool too, because like inclusion obviously is important. Everybody
Mhm.
should be able to do anything. We were wondering because it's not the type of universities that we would have in Canada, and
Most definitely.
I'm not even sure like how something like that, like how the admission, like you know what I mean, like any of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So it's cool, and like the second that we heard the story, we're like, yeah, we need to get this dude on. We need to have a conversation.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
speaking
so,
like doing things like brought up really quickly. Brought up the Seniors Day thing there. Does Jackson State do anything different on Seniors Day? Do you got something? I know Notre Dame, Chad as a Notre Dame fan should know that they
Mhm.
do a big marshmallow fight up there in the student section. So I don't know. Does Jackson do anything cool for the seniors?
So in the spring, I wasn't there before the year before, so I really don't know. But in the spring, we just like line the seniors up. We got a picture with their family and Coach Prime and everything on the field. Now after what they did that night, I don't know. I can't speak on that. But
That's only
I know
that's
what they
on
did on the
Prime's
field.
dollar. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's when they got the autographs.
yeah, most definitely. They got the autograph before they left.
So walk us through a little bit of last year, because obviously last year was way different than anything you could have ever expected, right? Your season's canceled, and then you get pushed to football in the spring. So like, what was your mindset back in the fall?
So back in the fall, like it was my first year to go D1. Like I was about
Yeah.
to be the first like McGregor playing D1 of my family. I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. And then I got that call and I was like, it's pushed back till the spring, even if we play then. So I was like, okay, cool. I got some more time to get prepared and everything. And then so I just kept working out, kept running, kept lifting, kept kicking and everything. So then it comes December, we get or actually I think it was November. We get a text from one of the coaches that got retained from the previous staff. It was like, we got a team meeting like this time. And then nobody knew anything about it. And then when we hopped on the team meeting, Coach Prime was the head coach. He was like, what's up, guys? And he was like, first thing we're going to do first is sit up, no earrings, nothing in team meetings. And then he was like, strictly like business from then on. And then he was like, we start, I think it was January 4th. So it was like, everybody better be prepared. We have a month of training. And then after that, February, our first game is like February 14th. And I was like, okay, cool. I guess that's fine with me. I mean, it's a shortened season, but it's like a different season, like a different weather season. So I was like, okay, maybe it won't affect it any different. But man, there was so much wind, so much rain in Mississippi. It was like totally different than I expected it. I feel like it was just like, I don't know, the balls travel different. Maybe it was me. I have no idea.
We'll blame the weather. We'll say it was the weather for you.
Yeah, Mother Nature didn't like me.
Yeah. And so your season ended in April or just before April?
It was like last week in April, I think.
Yeah. So now you have the quick turnaround. You guys are back onto regular schedule in September?
Yes, sir. Well, yeah, first game September 5th in Miami. We play Florida A&M.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a pretty good game. So yeah, like normally I would take like between my first and second year at JUCO, I would take like all of December and January off. I would like do technical like drills, like working my drop, my swing, my steps, like my body position and how I should like aim this way or that way for like a month or a month and a half. I wouldn't kick a ball until maybe April. So then I would have April, May to work like open field punts, like turnover balls, being more consistent. And then June I would do like left, like directional left all month, and then middle. And then July I would do like right, and then by the time fall camp came around, I would be like right, left, middle. I would have it all consistent, like basis. But now with this spring season, I was like, I can't take no break because we started in September. Fall camp's in August. So I was like, I don't have any time to waste or do like not kicking wise. So I was like, I took like 2 weeks off maybe at that, and then I just went right back at it. And it was pretty different. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm progressing as much as I wanted to, but I feel like my technique is changing in a different way, and it's causing my leg not to be used as much. If that makes sense to y'all, like I have more body position and leverage on the ball to where I can just pop it up, put it where I want it.
Well, that's good though. I mean, the less stress you can take off the joint is probably better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And me being like 5'9", 5'10", I need all the leverage I can.
I get that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned earlier, we got Chad's a coach here, right? We
Mhm.
talked about you learning quite a bit in the last few years being a punter and such. You got any shout outs for any coaches? Anybody that's taught you something incredibly that's got you to where you are right now? Or is this all self-taught, my man?
This is self-taught, but mainly, the one-on-one kicking, the Team Jackson kicking, and then the punt factory. I've tried to like branch out to different training people, you would say, just because I don't want like one person to own me or like say that they did this to me and like take credit for everything. So I try to make like one camp, like different spots and different companies. But yeah, Team Jackson, Brian Jackson, he runs the camps in Alabama. He's really good at like coaching kickers and punters and everything. And then the punt factory, I have the shirt on actually now. Let me see if I can give him a shout out. Yeah, punt factory. Just got this
All
shirt.
right.
Nice.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, so I went to Houston, Texas last weekend, I think, and I really learned a lot from him in just like the first hour I was there. It's like he taught me so much about my steps, my drop, relaxing my arm, everything. So I think we're supposed to hook up again end of July before fall camp. So
Nice.
good
So
with him.
you guys are starting camp in what, like August?
Yes, sir. So Coach Prime told me earlier that we have last week of July off, and the first week we're back in August doing like full camp for a month.
Oh, I
That's all right.
wish.
Yeah.
I'm
And
starting tonight, first day back. So
Ooh,
you
it's tough.
you know our boy Aiden over at Clemson?
What position does he play? Punter?
punter,
Yeah.
Swanson.
Yeah. Okay,
Swanson,
I know.
Swanson.
Was he the starter or was it the Brandon Potter or BT Potter? I don't know. I don't know him like
Potter's
that.
still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know him like that.
But
I
what
know
did
of
what
him.
did Swanson kick last year? What was his long one? He had a
He
good
dropped-
size one, right?
he had a 55 bomb. I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good one. I'm pretty sure. I was like just under 60 or over 60 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys had met at like a camp or anything, because I know he's always out on the camp circuit too.
Yeah. I haven't met him actually, but I met Seth Vernon, a bunch of FCI like D1 AA guys. Like I met the guy from Wisconsin. I forgot his name though. Andy, that's his name, Andy. He's like legit. Like he looks like a linebacker, but he can knock the skin off a ball. He's
Damn.
ridiculous.
All right, guys, sorry to cut you off, Lane. I got to dip though. I got to head to practice. I do thank you for coming on though. Obviously, staying with the guys. You guys can talk more. I got to head out though. But I want to
Yes,
say
sir,
thanks for coming
appreciate
by and have a good night, guys.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah, later,
Chad.
Chad.
Enjoy,
Enjoy
Chad.
coaching, man.
Stay dry, bro.
Yeah, stop for now.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So for your season last year, I mean, I was going through it, and we were talking about like your stats for the games. So the one that stood out was obviously the Alabama State one, where you punted 8 times. Like, how were you, or 8 or 9, whatever it was. How were you feel? Like, do you get in the zone after a couple? Like, do you need one to like out of your system?
So like yeah, so like with any sporting event or anything, normally like I get goosebumps. So I'm running onto the field. I'm like, okay, so I gotta take 3 deep breaths, but you can't take 2. Number 3, lucky 3. You gotta have lucky 3. Anyways, after that 3rd breath, I'm good. I'm ready to go. I want the deep snapper to snap the ball as fast as he can. But then the first snap the first punt is always like, I guess you would say like the feel for the game. And like if I do good on that one, I'm gonna do way better the rest of the game. Now, if I don't do as good on that punt, I'm gonna do like try to do 10 times better. So after the first punt, I'm pretty set in for the game. But like I love kicking more than twice a game. Like I hate sitting on the sideline first quarter punting and then wait to the fourth quarter punting again. Like if I could kick 2 times a quarter, I'd be like okay.
Yeah, as long as you can stay off the bike, right? Like that's
Most
pretty much
definitely. Like the bike, the stretching, everything.
Yeah. How's your baseball knowledge?
Decently. I mean, I just got finished watching the College World Series. Like I didn't pay attention to the MLB inning.
Oh,
I was
okay.
too busy watching that. Yeah.
Yeah. We were next thing we were going to talk about is home run derby. You want in on that, or you want us to let you go for the day?
I don't know too much about that, but I know the Yankees. My Yankees are struggling right now.
Yeah.
They are.
The
Yeah,
Yankees
they
stink.
are. Woo! I'm a Red Sox fan, so I hate them Yanks, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's
How
just
the
the
hell do you
worst.
become a Yankees fan living in the South? What the hell happened there? Isn't that what you make fun of up north? Don't you
No, the
call
Yankees.
us Yankees?
No. Okay, we make fun of the Yankees, like the northern people, but
That's
somehow.
what I mean. So how do you become? I remember going to Tennessee for my 21st birthday. I don't consider myself a Yankee, but I remember those guys down there in Nashville going to me, "Where are you from, son?" And I said, "I'm from Canada. I'm from London, Ontario." "Oh, you a Yankee?" I said,
You're
"No,
a
I'm a
Yankee.
Canadian." "No, well, you're a Yankee. Anybody that's north of Nashville is called a Yank." I heard that in my life. That was awesome. But yeah, how do you
Yeah,
become
like-
a Yankee fan?
I don't know. I was just a Derek Jeter fan when I played like Pee Wee baseball.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, I get it now. Everybody's a Jeter fan. Even the Red Sox guys are a Jeter fan.
Oh, you like Jeter?
Man, you got to give it up to me. He's a Hall of Famer. He's amazing. What he was able to do for that team for that many years, he was so Mr. Consistent, right? It was a thorn in my side, right? But that's what you're going to have. If you're going to have two teams that put that much money into their teams, you're going to have somebody that's going to be your thorn in your side, the person you can't take down, right? I was okay with it being him.
Well, that guy's homegrown, right? Like they definitely paid him, but they didn't pay him to come to the Yankees.
No, I know, but we're talking two rivalries that they've built every other roster, and he was still the one guy that was the Red Sox killer, no matter what. He was going to do. Mo too. Mo was pretty rough against us too as a closer.
Yeah. All right, Lane. Let's we can let you go so we don't bore you with our home run derby talk, but we really appreciate you coming on, man. One question before you leave. We have a guest fantasy football league that we're starting. Can we count you in?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
All right. That's all.
Just hit me up, and I'll take it easy on y'all. Okay. So,
Yeah. Hey, we
all
appreciate
good.
that. We appreciate it.
all
I heard
good.
kickers in the first round are a good thing in this league.
Oh,
Just
most
for-
definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, man, we appreciate you coming on. It's definitely not gonna be the last time we enjoyed this. So definitely have a good night, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Thanks.
Shane. Thank you, Lime, and thank you, Ziggy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Later, bro. All right, that guy was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great chat,
awesome.
man. He brought a good vibe to the
Yeah.
cast. You know what I mean?
I think I could have put my vitamins away just when I heard his accent. Like I was ready to go as soon as I heard his accent. Like, yep, this one's gonna be a good one.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Beautiful Southern.
Yeah. So, let's move on to baseball for a second. But before we do that, we'll talk about our friends at CoolBet because we changed our CoolBet for the day because the Jays game got rained out. We're now on the Padres -1.5, and I think that we got the Suns -3.5 or 4.5, whatever it is. But Josh isn't really excited about that pick, so we will see where that one goes. But
Yeah, there's a reason he's the intern.
right, so I was talking to the guys at CoolBet today and pretty much begging them to put lines out for the home run derby. So I think that's going to happen. So let's stay tuned on
Oh,
that.
sweet.
Yeah. But we do have the 8 participants now. Obviously, the favorite right now is going to be Ohtani because the guy's the favorite for everything.
Mhm.
But of the candidates that are out there, who are you taking?
You know,
You
I'm
want
gonna
me to
be
give
a
them to you?
homer,
Here,
dude.
let me give them to you. So
You know I'm going to be a homer, though. I'm already going to tell you who I'm going to take.
who you taking?
Hernandez.
I believe that he's not in it.
What? Is he not the second? Oh, no. I thought he was going to be in it this year.
Nope. It's
Who we
Ohtani
got?
versus Soto. Pete
okay.
Alonso versus Salvador Perez. Trevor Story versus Joey Gallo. Matt Olson from the A's and Trey Mancini from the Orioles.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, if there's going to be it's tough for Soto to go up. Is it actually are they going? Is that you just give me the brackets there too?
Yeah. So that's the bracket. So they go 1v1 and then semis and then finals.
Well, I guess if I'm probably gonna have to say Gallo would be my pick. If I'm gonna play devil's advocate to Otani, that's who I'm gonna go with.
I like that pick actually, but my pick was the other day, and he decided to enter again. So I'm gonna go for defending champion Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso, and I'll bet, and because I was looking at some other books, I'll bet that guy's gonna be like a plus 550 to win this thing, and you best believe that that's gonna be my bet.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you think that Otani's line comes in at?
It's going to be in the 300s, right? Like it can't be like too bad because you still have to go through 3 consecutives, and like all the odds that kind of work into it are you don't know who your second round is going to be against, and you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really, really tough to make that any lower than 300. But that would be my guess, like 300, 350 ish.
Not bad. I love. I know that you guys have you and Chad have both shared ideas about mocking the All-Star game, but I still love it. And I still into baseball, and I know I'm falling back in love with baseball. So maybe I'm just kind of romantic with it right now, but I keep coming back to the fact that this is the only All-Star game that actually means something, right? The winner gets home field advantage, right? For the World Series. I love that. I think this is, and the players don't play like the NBA All-Star, where we're trying to get 160 points, and we'll play really hard for the last 2.5 minutes of the game so that we can tell everybody we played hard. And it's not like the NHL All-Star game where, you know, they're swapping goalies every period. Nobody's trying to get hot. They're just trying to goof around and put up nice plays. The boys are trying to play. Like, they're not pitching 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, but they're still trying to play.
Well, yeah. And I mean, the guys that want to play are going to be the guys that might have a chance at being in the World Series, right? Like, if you're a Baltimore Oriole and you're in the All-Star game, like you're just happy to be invited. You know, you got tagged.
Well, I would say
you
it's
got
the
tagged
only
in.
important
You're
game you're going to play all year, right?
that could be it. Yeah.
So may want to enjoy your time and show up for it a bit.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that might be right. And like a guy like Shohei Ohtani, anybody that doesn't know that name now is going to know it by the end of the next like few days, because between the home run derby and what he's going to do in the All-Star game, because for some reason the Angels management has given the okay to the All-Star team to let him pitch and to let him bat.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So also, I only got the home run derby. What do you think is going to be the furthest jack? Because this is Coors Field, man. This is going to be video game-esque type distances, right?
I can't imagine anybody breaking 500.
Oh, you don't think so? I might go 525.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like somewhere in the 490s. Like, I think the ball's gonna fly, but I don't think it's gonna like add 25, 30 feet.
Well, they might use last year's ball.
Make way.
They might still have some supply on hand, right?
If they give them tennis balls and tennis rackets and let them hit from home plate, I'll bet you there'll be some big ones going out. Or like a golf ball on a tennis racket.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you remember that? Oh no, you weren't at that golf tournament that I went. This guy, you put an upside down golf club, pegged it into the ground, and on the top put the tee, and used a baseball bat on the par 3 to swing to it. He got closest to the pin, Shane, and he wasn't messing around. We all saw it. It was insane. I was about like 100 yards away, and he was so far away, and the wind was in our face too. So when he hit the ball, it took 3.5 seconds for the sound to get to us. So
wow,
it was awesome. Yeah. It was good stuff, man.
Did you see the fight today on MLB Network? The guys fighting over Shohei Ohtani?
No, what was going on?
So one of the guys, I can't think of the other guy's name, but one of the guys' name was Brian Kenny. But they were fighting, saying that the one guy was saying that there's no reason for the Angels to play Ohtani as a pitcher because he'll never be one of the top pitchers in the league, but he has a chance to be like a top 5 offensive talent. So by them pitching him, they're robbing themselves of runs because they could find a pitcher to replace him.
So how many games has he pitched this year? Was he at like 20-ish, 25?
Yeah, he'll pitch every 5 days, right? Or every 5 or 6 days. So
Well, he's not start. He just had his first start and he got fucking lit up during his first start, right?
No, man.
I think that's seven. I thought he was a reliever up until like a week ago.
Nope.
Oh, I always thought he was a reliever.
I mean, he's pitched in relief in the past, but this year he's been a starter.
Well, he's a true talent, and I enjoy that the Angels have allowed him at an All-Star game to be able to play both positions like that.
Yeah, but
I know you're not a fan of it.
It goes to show what I was telling you is they don't care about winning. They want people to see what he can do so that they in turn start coming to the stadium. Because I mean, if you're an LA baseball fan, you're a Dodgers fan. You go see the Dodgers. But if you're an LA tourist going to which stadium, you might go see the talent versus like what Dodger Stadium is.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. But like, okay, like I just don't understand the argument about like you're losing runs. If he's only pitching every 5 games and maybe he misses a game here and there offensively because as a outfielder because he's recovering from the pitch. But what happened to the other 3 or 4 days in the week, or 3 or 4 games that are in between that? You know what I mean? They still have to win those games still too, right? It's not as if it's the one game that Ohtani's pitching that happens to be the one they lose. Let's forget that he's pitching well too, which is keeping them in the game.
Yeah, and I mean you're not wrong, and what this guy's saying is not wrong. But if we could take a stance on both sides, if I were to tell you, you could have a mediocre pitcher and a top 15 batter for the next 10 years, or a top 5 batter and go find a pitcher for the next 10 years, which one are you going to take?
Well, I thought I would probably have said like 5 or 6 years ago, I probably would have said I would have taken the pitcher. But at this point, with the strikeout counts the way that they are, I think I would have to take the hitter. I do think I would have to take the run. So I do kind of see what that guy is saying. The runs are so few and far to come by. Why not put your best players at plate when you can? Well, if he gets to the NL, it's not going to be a problem, right?
Right. And it's really, really going to depend on what the Angels want to do and how much money they want to pony up, because I'm sure that a guy like Ohtani is he's just happy to not be pitching every 3 days like he was in Japan.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I mean, that's kind of what wrecked his arm in the first place, and that's what baseball didn't realize what they were getting. But modern medicine, the way it is, they just rebuilt the guy's arm. So, I mean, it's going to be cool to see. The Angels are what I feel like is pretty out of it, but to any fan looking at the standings, they have the same amount of win as the Blue Jays. It's just
that's what I mean. Like that's what I was saying the other day when I was talking about like with Trout coming back. Like they aren't good. The Angels aren't good, but they've won a few games and they're not in the super strong division, but maybe they can pick up a few spots in, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I still think that Oakland and Houston are going to be the class of that division, but it's still kind of too early to tell. Now's the time if you're a team that's kind of there. This is when your GM's looking at the standings, being like, "Can we make a push or can we not make a push?" And
they're just fortunate enough that they live out west where it's where they're living. It's nice and weather. They could be a team like the Mets. I was reading today. Did you see, with their postponement today and getting a doubleheader, they're going to be playing at minimum 15 doubleheaders this year or something like that? How many innings are they losing? Like,
well,
I can look that up, but
you lose 2 innings every game, right?
So do the math there on that. We're 13 doubleheaders. What I'm reading actually right now, 13 doubleheaders, 52 innings, 6 full games, man, that they're going to lose.
Yeah,
so
which is pretty wild. And the
season's
season's
wild, really.
Season's half over, right? So I mean, anything could happen. But I'm going to tell you a season that's about to come to an end, and it's for a guy that we were all pretty high on, and kind of feels shitty to say, but I think that Keneal Harry might be done in the NFL.
Oh, really? You don't think he's going to get an opportunity somewhere?
So there was a thing that was out on Bleacher Report today that was talking about how if he were to get traded today, he would get a conditional 6th round pick.
I agree with it. He was a first round pick 3 years ago. I agree. It's not his fault he was drafted where he was, right? It was an absolute reach. Everybody at that point when he was drafted, everybody looked at him as possession receiver who hasn't shown it yet in the NFL, but in college would win almost every point battle that he went up for. That's exactly what they needed in New England. They had some speed at that point. They had some slot. They needed somebody that could fight for the fucking ball on the outside, so it wasn't always up the seams to the tight ends. It's not his fault where he got drafted, but it is certainly. I don't even know if it's his fault that he's playing as poorly as he is, because let's be real. As long as I've been watching football, I can only think of one receiver that ever did well in New England, and he's one of the greatest of all time. Randy Moss, right?
Oh, I thought. Well, you should probably remember like Wes Welker and Julian Edelman too, but I understand that those guys aren't in the same class as Randy Moss. If you want to talk about that.
Julian Edelman was a playoff wide receiver, and he was a very clutch regular season receiver, but he's not one of the best receivers of all time. I just think historically we've looked at New England as being a team that is won the dink and dump type of offense and won off the backs of their defense more than anything. So I can't fault him for maybe being in New England in that sense too. It's not something that they've never really had wide receivers that have done well, but at some point you've got to show up. You had the opportunity to play with Tom Brady. You had a great player throwing you the ball, run your routes, get open and catch the ball. But you can't do that with 86 catches through 3 years or 86 targets or whatever.
I don't think he's really stayed healthy enough. And he might just be, he's not that great off the line, but did you see Aaron Jones racing Tyreek Hill?
No, who won that? I'm gonna obviously say Tyreek Hill won that one by a long shot. And Aaron Jones isn't a slouch. He's not slow by any means, but
to me it looked like they were racing for kids, right? Like it was like there was kids in the middle. They must have been at some camp and they were just doing it for for morale, whatever. I don't think they were being any kind of serious about it. It wasn't like an Ocho Cinco versus the horse kind of thing. It was. I think that they were just goofing around and someone caught it on tape, which everything happens on tape now. And
that's true.
Obviously, things that happened on tape. Have you seen this Kyle Shanahan thing?
No. Talk to me about this now. What did he do?
Okay. So he went on.
Hold on. Before we get to this, before we get completely off of Keneal Harry, I just read this really funny tweet that you're gonna love. Okay. So the Keneal Harry trade request reminds me of an old story about a GM whose response to a player who said, "Play me or trade me," was, "We did play you, and now we can't trade you."
Yeah, there you go.
Oh God. All right, sorry, Kyle Shanahan. What happened to our boy?
Yeah. Okay, so he was on, I believe it's Peter Schrager's show with, I think it might have even been Sean McVay that was on it with him, but they were talking about Stafford, and he was asked the question like, "What did you do when the whole Stafford thing went down?" And he's like, "Oh man, I was out in Cabo, I was partying, but then I was so depressed because we were in on him." And he's like,
"Oh, really?"
Yeah, we wanted him. He's a badass, Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm fairly certain that the show that he was on also had Sean McVay on it. So I don't like.
Oh, okay, been farting around. You're just having some fun with your fellow coach.
Yeah.
Because if not, hey, that's tampering right there. In division, I want a second round off that coach's back.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. That was obviously it would have impacted their draft. That happened long before any of that happened. But do they really hate Jimmy G that much? If they're going for Stafford, obviously they don't think Jimmy G's the starter this year, or at least not the full time.
You have everything. If I can think of a team that's complete, you really do have to think of a team like San Francisco from top to bottom. Defense, They got pass rushers, they got linebackers, they got corners that can play, they got hard hitting safeties, they got a fairly, I would say, above mid-tier to upper echelon offensive line there. And they've got 14 and a half running backs, and they've got some speedsters. Right now, the wide receivers don't win at the point of attack. They're definitely going to be burners or catch and make a move and get a few yards after. But they have everything. And Kittle. How am I going to leave out the tight end? The quarterback's best friend, right? And arguably the number 2 or number 1 tight end in the league, right?
Yeah.
So, if he has to start doing something to make up for his contract, he's doing far less than Kirk Cousins is doing off of his type of contract, right? And Kirk takes enough slack for his.
That's true. I think majority of his guaranteed money's probably run out by this point, right?
Jimmy G, I think they can move on from him. Like after he's like half his salary this year is guaranteed, then after that he's done, kind of thing. So
Cool.
maybe a way to get out of there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're getting out of there and you're moving into a new house, it's probably not a bad idea to call for Joe Cool's takeout because every time it rains like this, those guys have to shut down again. It's such bullshit that they can't be open, especially since heroes like me went out and got their second shot today. I said no thanks and I karate kicked COVID. I will not get it.
Coming in hot next week, my man.
Yeah, they'll give you a sticker. It's pretty rewarding.
Did you put it on your fridge?
No, oh, actually, you know what I did? Yeah, I gave it to my kids and they put it on the fridge. Yeah, man. What about this? We kind of ignored this topic all day. Obviously, we didn't expect Lane to have any kind of a background in the Stanley Cup final, so we pushed it to the back end. So what do you make of this Lightning team that's won back-to-back? What do you make of the reaction to the finals? And Buddy taking shots across the bow at Montreal fans.
Oh, all right. So first, I wish it did that the series just would have went longer, just because it's nice to have a Stanley Cup final. It's always a good sport to watch. It's always usually good entertainment. I don't really ever remember watching a Stanley Cup final where I walked away going, "Oh, that was a waste of my time." So I would have liked to have more of that.
You didn't watch the game last year?
You didn't? You thought that really? Well, I mean, I guess because of the fans not being there. Like I agree that Tampa's fans being in the stands certainly made it a different vibe just watching it from home. And they were loud as hell.
Would you count yesterday as the first time that fans have actually been back into a championship since everything shut down?
Yeah, well, because they had the interior and exterior absolutely jam-packed. So yeah,
well,
I would say it would have to be.
I mean, like, we're not going to count the Super Bowl, right?
No. It wasn't full.
Well, it wasn't full and it wasn't fans either. It was just like vaccinated healthcare workers. I guess they could be football fans or they could be fans of the teams on like a lucky basis or whatever. But like that's not the diehards. And that's usually not how the Super Bowl is anyway. Like the Super Bowl is not really, you don't watch the Super Bowl to see the crowd. Like there's always been one dickhead that jumps the thing and tries to streak. But other than that, I mean, they don't even really show the crowd much in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But as far as the game, I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was great. Unfortunate ending. Kucherov. Okay. I love Kucherov. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's top 3 in the league. Okay. He proved enough of that in the playoffs. How many points do you have? 30 something in the playoffs or whatever. I don't think that what he did was necessary. Taking the shots across the bow at Canadiens fans for celebrating a win in the Stanley Cup finals. Why would you fault a fan base who, one, didn't get to be in the stands the entire year, 2, only got opened up a few amount of fans to actually go and watch the game? It's Canada's fucking game, okay? If they get a win, let them celebrate a little bit, right? Okay, let's take this the other way. Did Tampa had the first 2 games? Did Tampa's fans, after their wins, were they tame? I don't think so. And I'm not just saying that because they're Florida folk either. Like they were pretty wild too.
I'm sitting here, my vitamins just kicked in, and I can just see you standing on this. I can see you standing on the soapbox over there, and I am enjoying it fully.
So yes, and then I don't know if you saw the tweet after too later tonight by his agent taking a picture of Kucherov with the Stanley Cup and saying that he sends his kind regards to all the Montreal Canadian fans. I'm sure he's getting a whole lot of hate for that, for what he said last night. But I mean, okay, listen, drink, have a great time, talk some smack. I said this to the boys in the chat because I'm taking heat for the exact same thing that I'm saying right now. Talk your shit. Okay. I have no problem with that. Blake Coleman, talk your stuff. If Stamkos wants to talk, if Colton wants to talk, those are players that played the whole year too, that earned the right to get into the playoffs, that didn't miss the whole season. I know he was injured with a legitimate injury, but you missed the whole year and didn't miss a fucking beat walking into the first round. Stay a little humble. You've won 2 now. You don't need to take shots at fans celebrating a win in the Stanley Cup. I think that's just a little low.
Yo, we hit a nerve with Kaylin on this one, eh?
Listen, I'm all about pettiness, man. You've seen me in sports. I'm a petty son of a bitch when it comes to sports. I just think once you won the championship, taking direct insults at the Canadian fans like that, enjoy your cup, man. Go drink the beer out of the cup.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's are you done? I just want to I was going to move on to the UFC. I just didn't want to take your moment away. That was a very good segment. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome, Shane.
Yeah, hey. We're here to support each other. Yeah, I told you I'm having a great time right now. Let's go to the UFC for a second because our friends at Coolbet have hooked us up with the first ever UFC Super Boost going for 2. So all we need to happen is this. We need Greg Hardy to win in any way, whether he wants to submit the guy, punch him out. Hopefully he doesn't do what he did, as an NFL player. And I don't think that he was very great as a pass rusher, but hopefully he can start smacking some dudes around in the ring because we need that dude to win. And then we need our friend Conor McGregor, who I think is dialed in right now. And, Kaylin, pull your Irish tattoo out because we are all in on this guy. So if Greg Hardy wins and Conor McGregor win at any point in time, that's plus 400. That'll pay you. That's 5-1 for anybody that's not down in the betting game. But I can tell you that I put a couple of pieces of couch change in it already. So I'm sure we'll hit that again before Saturday.
What a treat. It's like every 2 to 3 weeks, the UFC just puts out a card that just makes the world want to stop and watch, man. This is a good one. This is a good card.
For me, I need money on the fights to watch them. So I think that you're aware. I'm going to watch it. It's not that I'm not respectful of fighting. I just, I can watch it in a group of people. And if I was at a party, you're drinking, you're watching guys beat each other up. I don't know, man. If I watch it by myself, it's kind of weird. I feel weird about it.
I got to understand.
I don't watch Fight Club alone.
What? You only watch that with friends?
I think so. I don't think I've ever watched it by myself. I mean, it's not in the top rotation for me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, okay. I can understand.
Yeah. So how do you feel about those picks, Kaylin?
I'm okay with all of them. I'm a little uneasy with the Hardy pick. I mean, I'll ride the wave. I think he still has a lot to be desired as a fighter. So we'll see how he pans out. Every other pick, I'm cool with it. Sean O'Malley, that's another one I'm going for this weekend, man. He's won me over as a fan.
Another Irish guy.
Yeah, man.
You love the Irish. Well,
I just love the way he fights. He will back off of a guy just because he wants to hit him harder again. I've seen that in fights where I could probably end the fight right now because he's not really defending himself. I just keep swinging, but I'm going to step back and I'm going to let him get up just so I can beat the shit out of him one more time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I watch UFC now and I think of it in a different context, but if I watch wrestling and UFC, both I feel lost in because I'm not in on whatever the storyline is or whatever that person fought last. But back when we were at the bar together, we would have every UFC fight. We probably could have told you every fighter 10 years ago. But that, again, that was because we were working and we had to have it on. And, group of guys come in.
That was the good time of my serving years early on when I got paid to watch UFC.
Yeah, man.
And then I ended up working at bars that didn't do the pay-per-view UFC. So I lost all of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. But, I mean, so when it comes to that, I know how to just put my money down on the fight, and hopefully I did enough research. But I don't know enough about Greg Hardy's fighting technique to challenge him on it.
Yeah, that's right. Probably something else that you may just kind of throw your money on blindly here would probably be the game tonight, huh?
Yeah, they're tipping off in what? About 40 minutes they're tipping off. And right now I am in on Phoenix minus 4.5.
Which the intern, Josh, for some unknown reason, doesn't like. He does not like that at all. He would pick the Bucks. I asked him why. He says, I just have a gut feeling. Hell's wrong with the young generation, man. There's nothing about that game that happened last time that tells me that the Bucks have a chance to win here. It was terrible.
Yeah. Okay, good. Kaylin's fixing his camera. I thought his camera angle switched on me.
Good switch, my man. I'm fixing. Don't you worry.
Okay, good. Now, hey, I was worried because I thought I saw something that wasn't happening. and that's okay. But while you're doing that, now is a perfect time to talk about our friends at Toboggan Beer, because if it wasn't for them right now, we probably wouldn't be drinking beer. And they had a little bit of a tough night. They had to close early yesterday, but make sure that you support them. Their patio's open. Hopefully soon their inside will be open so we can go for a little tour of the brewery and enjoy it. Probably shoot a show there. Why not? Last thing I'm going to pull your ear on, Kaylin. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of filling up my betting card for the weekend. So on Sunday, we got the Euro Cup. We haven't talked soccer on here at all. We're not soccer analysts. Liam, who you can't see on the screen right now, is probably the biggest soccer fan out of all of us combined, which there's nothing wrong with that because he's been giving us some picks of, we're like, we're going to pick these guys. He's like, no, I wouldn't. I'm like, oh, all right. Liam said no, he watches soccer. So we got Italy, we got England this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that sounds like a throwback to like the 90s, right?
Well, we've got a team of destiny coming in England, and then we've got a team of a whole lot of floppers that we saw last game coming out of Italy. Did you see that one dive where the guy faked being hurt in the box and then the goal got scored, and then he ran up and started jumping, cheering to go with his teammates after the goal? He's and then he sees the goal.
So me seeing it would be very dependent on watching soccer, and it's not typically something that I would do.
And if you typed Italy flop into the YouTube, you would probably see between 50 and 100,000 different clips, right? So
yeah, you'd probably see an awful lot of skin. Yeah, but so we were originally thinking England because it was like, holy shit, they're like a plus 250. That seems like easy money. And then the bearded wonder told us, no. You want Italy. And I was like, fine, Italy in regulation. He's like, no. You want just Italy in penalty shots or whatever. I was like, oh, man. Good thing you're here. You're my spirit angel for betting right now.
Mm-hmm. So, I may be wrong. Maybe Liam can help me out here, but I feel like Italy and England's teams are built the way they play is very similar. It's going to be a very long, drawn-out game where they win through a war of attrition rather than through a war of attacking each other.
Yeah, so the big thing with the upcoming game is going to be Italy lost their primary defense with an Achilles injury. So Harry Kane is going to pretty much just sit there and pick all of the forward balls. Him and Sterling, who's the guy that flopped, will just pick all the balls. The Italian goalie, I think, is a little bit better than the English one, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
All
There
right,
we
well,
are.
you sounded
it sounds like it's going to be a barn burner to watch.
Yeah, you sounded way more certain in text.
Yeah, it's one of those things where on paper they look really good, like Italy does. I wasn't overly impressed with the English playing the Danes, but you never know. Like, soccer is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, yeah, that's probably going to be one soccer game that I'll watch, mostly because the first couple hours of it I'll be working, so I'll just have it on and be able to listen to it and make sure now we're just flushing our money down the toilet. But
and if you can't hear it or see it, you're certainly going to hear it when somebody wins, because either England fans I haven't seen that many England flags across London in a long time, but between the England flags and the Italy flags, you're going to see blasting around here, man. It's going to be a party downtown.
The other day, I was barbecuing in the back, and I heard a bunch of honking, and I knew Italy had won. I didn't even know the game was going on, but I knew Italy had won.
100%.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, inside the furniture fortress that Tepperman's is, I probably will not be hearing anybody yelling if they win. We do have TVs there, though. We have electronics department, so. All right. One last thing to talk about before we go, because next Monday is obviously the home run derby. We already picked our winner, but you should know that's our 50th episode. We lined up a pretty good guest already today for Monday, and that is our friend Chelsea Carey, future Olympian in curling. So she will be on with us Monday. We're going to talk home run derby. Definitely don't forget to make sure you subscribe. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
Twitch.
I was going to say Tinder, but we don't have one of those. So wherever there's a going for two, just click on it. Hopefully it's us. But as always, cheers. Kaylin, you got anything before we go?
No, man, just Suns in 4.
Yeah. There we go. All right, we'll see you Monday.